Happy Tea Tuesday! Hello! Having tea in my coffee mug. So this is Sleepy Time tea, and it was in a little Keurig thing, and it's really good. I put a sweetener in it and also a little cinnamon Torani, and it's really tasty. So cheers! So I finally am getting around to doing these apples because I have fruit flies like everywhere. So that'll be another project to get rid of. But I'm finally using my little apple slicer core, and this thing is really great. I paid around $20 for it on Amazon, and it's by Spiralizer. So let me show you how it works. I mean, I'm doing these apples and it's taking like no time, and then I'm dehydrating them on my little dehydrator that I bought at the thrift store last summer for $15. So anyway, hopefully you can see this. It's got this little lever that you push, and then you just pull this all the way back, and then you can put your apple on it. So I'll show you real quickly how it works. Putting the apple on the little spikes is a little difficult, but nothing that you can't do. So then, let me bring you a little closer. Put my apple somewhere else. Here I am. Hopefully I can get this set up so you can see it. But anyway, I have a smooth top stove, so it's perfect for that. It doesn't go anywhere. It's got a little lever that tightens it down. And I just put a dish under here to catch any juice that comes out. So let me see if you can't adjust this a little better. I don't want my camera to fall over. So anyway, I have my apple on there, and I just start turning. And here it's got the peeler. Oops, I didn't put it on. Figures, I didn't put it on well enough. Let me try that again. I'm not an expert, that's for sure. There. Put it in a little further. Okay, and then you just start turning. This little gadget peels it, and then this little gadget spiralizes it so that it comes off really easily. And this is all there is to it. It's not hard to turn, nothing. So there we have it. The apple comes right off. The core stays on there, and it's all spiralized. Really neat. So if you have a lot of apples that you need to process, even for applesauce, this is a real little handy device, and it was well worth the $20 I paid for it. Then when you want to push it back, you just take this little lever, pull it back, and you're ready for your next apple. Now these peels, I'm either going to feed some to my worms, but I think I'm going to freeze them first. Otherwise my worms will get fruit flies too. And besides, I just fed them. In case you're wondering what worms, they're my composting worms that I have upstairs in my bathtub that I never use. So, sorry about that. So I just keep my worms in the bathtub. I know. But anyway, so now I'm going to dehydrate this, and I've got about 20 more apples to do. And these apples are really tasty. These are the apples that we picked off the apple tree at the marina where Tom docks his boat. And I had a whole box of them, so free food. Who doesn't like that? So I'm going to keep just a few to put in the refrigerator just to eat as a snack. Okay, I'll be back later. So anyway, while I'm doing this, I'll have a little conversation with you. And I started cleaning out my garage attic, which is full of all my Christmas things. And I used to love to decorate for Christmas. I mean, I went all out. Christmas dishes, everything. Well, I don't want to do that anymore. It's just too much work. So what I'm doing is just donating it to charity. And I have a lot of greenery and things like silk poinsettias and that kind of thing that I just really don't want anymore. So I'm going to donate it to the charity shop because there's a lot of crafters out there that I think look for things like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, I have the silk flowers and some of the greenery. I had a big garland that was lighted that I used to put around my front door. Well, I don't feel like dragging out a big ladder anymore and, you know, doing all that. I decorate a little tiny bit outside, not much, just enough to make it festive. So it's time for me to say goodbye to those things because I don't enjoy doing it anymore. If I enjoyed doing it, I would continue to do it, but I don't. So I started on that. I started on my living room mess, and I'll have a video coming out about that. I'm just at a point in my life where I need to let go of things that are just taking up my time and my space so I can do other things. So what are you guys doing? I know some of you are younger, some of you are older. Are you still in the gathering phase of your life, or are you in the purging phase of your life? Are you a minimalist? Are you a maximalist? I would have considered myself a maximalist at one point, but now I'm to a point in my life where I just want things simple. You know, I don't want a honey-do list a mile long every single day. So I know these apples have been really bugging me because I've had them probably for a month, and I hate to waste food, so it's like, okay, you need to do this. But I'm talking about things like that. And when you don't have a lot of money, a lot of times you have to do everything yourself. Either that or you farm it out to family and you really don't want to keep bothering them with things. So I want to make my life simpler and easier. So I'm coming up with some ideas. And I'm basically working on one room at a time. The apples were in my laundry room, and they had actually, some of them had actually gone bad. So I put those outside for the little critters, and either that or they'll just compost into the earth, which either way is fine. So I've been doing that, but while I figured I'll do the apples, I figured I'd also clean up my laundry room. And my laundry room, it's right by my door where I come in. So a lot of times what happens is it becomes a catch-all for all kinds of things. So I'm trying to be better with that and not do that so much. But so things like that. So the laundry room is pretty much done. My little bathroom off the laundry room, that's pretty much done. You know, everything has a place in there. It's not a mess. My kitchen's still a mess. My living room and my dining room, they're not horrible, but, you know, you'll see in the video that I'm going to be posting soon. I have a pile in every room, and it's driving me crazy. And I either need to find a home for it by getting rid of some other things. The problem is the things that are in the pile, some of them are the things that I want to keep and that I use more often. And some of the things that I have stashed away, I never use. So anyway, that's my project. In between that and all my cooking, and I really want to get my house in order by Thanksgiving. So I think it's doable. I've got a month to work on it. Well, a little more. Yeah, a month. And what I don't get done, I'll just squirrel away in another room upstairs and try and get everything upstairs done by Christmas, because nobody goes upstairs, and hopefully I can have some family over for Thanksgiving. And I went to Walmart the other day and I got some buckets. They have 5-gallon buckets, and I don't know if they're 1 or 2-gallon buckets with lids. If you go to the bakery and ask them for the buckets, because they get rid of them. They, I assume they recycle them or they throw them out. But for $1, you can get a big 5-gallon bucket with a lid. Now, not all Walmarts will charge you for it. I've gotten them free sometimes, and sometimes they charge me $1. But that's another little project that I want to do. I have my beans and flour and all that stuff. I want to put that all in buckets, and I think it'll be a little easier to just put one bucket on top of the other, and it'll keep them fresher. But if you're looking for buckets, try Walmart Bakery and just ask them if they have any empty buckets. And then they're always real accommodating, so that works out real well. So I got a lot of those. Another thing that I use them for is in the garden, or if you want to plant things in them, they're perfect for that because they're food grade. And if you buy buckets, they're like $4 or $5 with the lid, or maybe even $6 because you have to buy the lid separate. So give that a try, and if you're into gardening, you can put your dirt in it, you can put your fertilizers in it. I mean, you can use those 5-gallon buckets for so many things, or drill holes in them and make yourself, a bucket garden. So anyway, I'm going to get back to these apples and get something else done, get another thing off my list, and I want to I have a recipe for a dried apple pie, where you take dried apples and you reconstitute them in apple cider. And I haven't tried it yet, but it had really good reviews. So that's what I'm going to use some of these apples for. Hopefully for Thanksgiving, I'll be able to make my family a pie. All right, I'll be back later. Okay, well, here are all my apples. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trays. I'm going to dry these now. And then I can use them for overnight oats. I can use them to make in a tea infusion. I can use them to make the apple pie I want to make. So, free food, yay! And then I wanted to tell you guys, Walmart has these little pies for 50 cents a piece. And I got a few of them. Now, I don't have much of a sweet tooth, and getting a big pie for me is ridiculous because I can't eat it all. And even with my grandson here, we can't eat a big pie. So I found these little pies. And these are really good. This one's a pecan pie. And it's just enough for one serving for a small piece of pie. So I got pecan and pumpkin, blueberry, peach, and apple. They have a nice variety of pies. And you can even freeze them, buy a bunch of them. Or I thought for the holidays, if you don't want to bake pumpkin pie or pecan pie, you can buy a bunch of these little ones and serve them on a nice little Christmas plate and with some whipped cream. And for each person in your party, they can each have their own individual little pie. So there's just a thought, and it really wouldn't cost any more than buying a big pie, because pies now cost anywhere from $10 to $15. So, 50 cents, if you have 10 people, it'll cost you $5. So that's just a little tip. And sometimes I do like to have a little something sweet with my tea or coffee in the afternoon. So that's a good option. Anyway, I'm going to go dry my apples, and I'll be back in a little while. Okay, it's time to hang out with my little friends here. I've done everything that I could do for today, and I'm kind of pooped. So this lighting is like not really good, is it? Well, I just came back. My apples are in the dehydrator. It's almost dinner time. I still have some soup that I think I'm going to just warm up. And then I'm going to have to cook some more things, because that's it on the prepared foods, other than I do have a lot of food in my freezer. So I'll probably just drag something out of there. So I just wanted to come back and say I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. That's all I have for you today. And I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.